Welcome to my channel. This is Sandra from Retired and Seeing the World. On May 11th, 2023, I found myself in Concordia, Kansas, and I just had to stop and admire this beautiful wall mural of a train and other aspects and historical landmarks of this city. I'll later learn that the train is of great significance to the history of the city, known to be the Orphan train movement between 1854 and 1929. So come with me as we can learn together more history of our home that we call the United States of America. Now let's do this together, okay? Look at their faces. Sunflowers, the miners. Look at this guy. The little boy in a tree. All the people in the train. Locomotive number 8. Concordia is a city in and the county seat of Cloud County, Kansas. It is located along the Republican River in the Smoky Hills region of the Great Plains in north-central Kansas. Concordia is the home of the National Orphan Train Complex, housed in the restored historic Union Pacific Railroad Depot. The complex currently houses a museum and research center dedicated to the preservation of the stories and artifacts of those who were part of the orphan train movement from 1854 to 1929. We will stop and visit this museum on our next stop, so stay tuned. It's a really interesting museum. A whole lot of statues. That one seems to be wearing a homemade scarf. Very cute. Here's another one. Elmer Barney Malone and Ethel Barney Malone Staley. Brother and sister, I take it. Town is very cute. That building is the post office. I love how the old architecture is being kept alive. I think I'm going to stop for a quick bite of something to eat and maybe drink to kill some time before the museum opens. Let's see what we can find. This donut shop and cafe looks open and looks pretty popular. Oh, those donuts look good. I'm a sucker for homemade biscuits and gravy. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And this is what I decided on. This is a half order all. And some apple juice. Biscuit. That was so delicious. And now I'm ready to move on and look for this National Orphan Train Complex and Museum. Let's go. It's almost 10 o'clock and I'm here at the National Orphan Train Museum. And out here in front of the complex, there are 10 more statues. It should be noted that the whole city is considered a museum with statues of orphan train riders scattered throughout Concordia. We saw several on our walk of downtown Concordia earlier this morning, but here's 10 right here at the complex. It's a really nice tribute to the riders of the orphan train. He was born in 1891. Hey, Robert. I'm just trying to kill time before it opens. I have about maybe a little less than 10 minutes. That's another little girl. Looks like she's holding a ice cream cone on one hand and balloons with another. Doing what little girls do. This is Millie. And here's Howard Reed Dowell. He was riding to Belleville, Kansas. And I can't seem to read the sign of this little girl. Both of them together. And here's Clara Reed Duckett Morgan. Cute little girl. Here's her story. James Reed Elliott. This is Leela, James, and Fred. And here's Glenn. And Ray and Max. They look like best bros. Best friends, brothers. Sharing a secret, maybe. Welcome to the National Orphan Train Complex. Between 1854 and 1929, estimated 250,000 orphaned, abandoned, and homeless children were placed out during the orphan train movement. Wow. I guess this is them. The reunion in 1988. Let's go inside, shall we? Come with me. Okay, so I just watched the 10-minute introduction video of the orphan train. Very interesting. Now we're going to enter the first exhibit, which houses the Legend train car. Let's go. Between 1854 and 1929, an estimated 250,000 orphaned, abandoned, or homeless children were transported to rural communities across the country in hopes of providing a better life for them. The orphan train movement was started by Charles Loring Brace and his organization, the Children's Aid Society. Brace recognized the inadequacy of New York's welfare institution and at the same time saw the western states as a place full of opportunity. He devised a system whereby disadvantaged children would be sent to rural communities traveling by train and with a society agent, where they could be taken in by families who would teach them good morals and provide for their needs. Other organizations quickly adopted Brace's system, and for nearly 80 years, Children migrated across the country to find new homes. Finally, in 1929, amidst growing objections and changing welfare systems, the orphan train movement came to an end. Let's go inside, shall we? The Legend train car was originally used on a line to Chingawassa Springs near Marion, Kansas, which operated from 1889 to 1902. Note it that each bench is marked by a plaque, which was designated for each orphan train rider. There are displays both inside and around the train car, so be sure you take your time and you see everything. Look at the little clothes. A little suitcase. Doll. The benches all have like their names on them. Here's a selfie spot. Grab a prop from the basket and strike a pose. Okay. Now you know I did just that, struck a pose, holding a doll, as you probably noticed from my thumbnail. Gotta have some fun. So I guess for food on the train they had, looks like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, bread, maybe cookies down there, some cheese, basin for some water, evaporated milk. Oh, a baby carriage. The local committee. The journey west, New York to Kansas, Marion. The agents. And here's the placement when they arrived to Concordia, Kansas. Selecting the community. And then the checkup program. And apparently from here, many of the children found forever homes, which is a great happy ending. Now we're on our way to see the historic depot. 1917 Union Pacific Depot. Let's go. And I'm supposed to go to the left. To the left. All the way to the left. Okay, so I guess that's this way, because that's where the story begins. See you at the beginning. The historic Union Pacific Depot was built in 1917. It was used by Union Pacific until the 1950s and was later used as a furniture warehouse. The freight room tells the story of the beginning of the orphan train movement. Learning to cook. The men's and women's waiting rooms share stories about individual writers and agents. The office tells a story of how the orphan train came to be. Learning a trade. Life on the streets of New York. Day-to-day survival because danger for children lurked in every shadows. Many joined gangs for protection. For some, striking the first blow became a basic trick of survival. By mid-19th century, abandoned, orphaned, starving, neglected street children numbered 10,000 in New York alone. Who knew that this happened over 100 years ago? Family in a tenement in 1910. That's mama and a papa, 1, 2, 3, 5 children in a 1-bedroom, what you can call an apartment. Number of children in poor families placed out from 1854 until 1910 by the Children's Aid Society. California, pretty high, 168. Wow, look at the numbers for Nebraska and Kansas, Texas, New York, 33,000. Children's Aid Society. Children. Agent Anna Laura Hill. Boy Scouts of America. Ethel and Barney Staley. She was one of 6 children. And it's like her and 3 of her siblings were sent on the orphan train in Iowa. Emily Reese, Emily Kidder. That's her story. Pause and read.
Also, I had the privilege of standing on the curb with my foster mother.
1988, Orphan Reunion. Here in their research area, if anyone thinks that that their ancestor may have been an orphan train writer, placement agent, or local community member, they utilize services such as Ancestry.com, newspapers.com, Family Search, Find a Grave, as well as records from the New York Juvenile Asylum and American Family Guardians Society. They're happy to provide contact information for the Children's Aid Society to the New York Foundling Home and other organizations. If you're interested in having research done, please pick up a packet in the Morgendale Welcome Center, or you can visit orphantraindepot.org, research and registration, if you want to help out, or if you think you have an ancestor that may have been part of this train, orphan train, from New York to Kansas. Homes for the holidays. Christmas at the Newsboys Lodging, 1898. Christmas at the New York Foundlings Asylum, 1895. Christmas at the House of Refuge, 1898. And Christmas at the Five Points House of Industry, 1898. And there's the founder. Sisters of Charity, 1869 in New York. There's their story of how they got this whole organization started in New York. The original brownstone. Sophia Kaminsky, Sophia Hillelshim Kral. She went to Minnesota. Here's Yetta Subin. Geraldine Alden Lee. Howard, Clara, and James Reed. I think we saw their statue outside. Anna Harrison. Oh, what a cute face. Emily, Julia, and Henry Carl Lung. Oh, baby. Irma Craig Schneider. The foundlings come in rags, a newspaper often the only wrap, semi-occasionally one in a clean slip with some evidence of loving care, a little slip of paper pinned on, perhaps with some message, as this in women's trembling hand, "Take care of Johnny, for God's sake, I cannot." But even that is the rarest of all happenings. Jacob Reese, 1890s. We just walked out of there. Here's where the train is. So right next to the train station. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Maybe you can give me a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe to my channel so you can follow along on my next adventures and where I've been going since I've been retired and seeing the world. Bye, and see you in the next video.